Salespeople constantly put themselves out there, and no one is safe from fear of rejection. Author and sales trainer Wendy Weiss, better known as the Queen of Cold Calling, remembers a client who was so frozen in fear he didn't meet his sales goals. Now, he was afraid he was going to lose his job, and it even affected his personal life. He fought with his wife, his family, and all around was miserable. But he's not alone. Salespeople everywhere experience the same challenges, and business owners struggle to help them make sales. And it's time to change that. We live in a culture where career success is often directly linked with self-worth. We all want to be accepted and loved. And fear is our signal that we're putting ourselves out there. And when we do, we risk failure. Humans are great storytellers. So many of us make up stories. If I can't make this sale, I'll lose my job. If I lose my job, I won't be able to make ends meet. My spouse won't be attracted to me, and my parents will have proof that I'll never amount to anything. You can keep telling yourselves any sort of stories. Salespeople exhibit a lot of the same qualities of people who are depressed, Weiss says. She brought up 2 of the 10 forms of thinking experienced by people who suffer from depression, as identified by Dr. David Burns in his book, Feeling Good, The New Mood Therapy. The first one was mind reading. According to Weiss, salespeople assume prospects aren't interested based on no realistic reason. And the second one's fortune telling. Salespeople are projecting into the future, thinking nobody will be interested, therefore I won't make any calls, Weiss said. And it doesn't have to be that way. Fortunately, there's plenty a business owner and salespeople can do to overcome fear of rejection and win the sales. And the first one is Deconstruct Sales Perceptions. Don Sareth, author of Conquering Cold Calling Fear Before and After the Sale and multimedia solution developer at CBS, never gave anyone in his university courses a grade higher than 93. But one student got 98. And he wasn't the stereotypical salesperson. Now, this boy wasn't good looking. He wasn't even popular. He had a heart condition, so he had to miss a few classes because of the treatments. Yet he was the only one of 50 students to land a sales meeting. So I encourage you to stop making assumptions. For example, salespeople need to qualify prospects, but the definition of a cold call is calling someone you do not know, so you don't know what they're thinking. Ask yourself, is this fear you have about is what's going to happen before you dial, is that real, or are you making it up? If people can shift how they think about it, then they can shift their behavior. Secondly, shift the focus to an activity metrics. So when you're afraid, it's easy to assume you're the only one experiencing this challenge, and that makes things worse. The idea is to make so many calls until they get a yes, so that they know you're not alone. So shift the focus from the result that they can't control, a closed sale, to an action that they can control, picking up the phone. If you make 20 calls a day for 5 days, you'll get rid of the fear, you'll have success, and you'll get 3 appointments and 1 sale. Show them how your products can help the customers. Many salespeople can't stop associating selling with scheming people out of their money just because they took a sales job. The way you can help this thought process out is by looking at customer success stories and proving that your products really do help people and their companies, and get excited about delivering the values. So invest in sales training, and that'll build up a lot of confidence. When this professor challenged his students to land a sales meeting, a lot of people picked the president of Google or Facebook, and none of them landed the meeting. Remember, the only student who got 98 in Sarah's class, he picked the president of the local brewery, and he landed a meeting. Build your confidence in sales by getting more skills on how to qualify prospects and explain the value and handle objections, and learn how to follow up better as well. Sarah suggested by taking the pressure off. Decide who's the person you absolutely want to call, and don't call them first. Practice with other people that you don't care about. I remember when I first started teaching aerobics, I went to places where I didn't eventually want to work and the smaller gyms before I went to the places that I absolutely wanted to work at. Important factor too is to analyze your calls. It's interesting what people think about no. Now, clients often tell me that prospects aren't interested, but when you sort of ask them for more information, I learned that the prospect was in a meeting or asked them to call back next week. Sometimes you reach people at a bad time, but if they're in the heart of terror, they think they're being rejected. Celebrate every no as a step closer to a sale. When people ask what I do, I say, I call people who don't want me to talk to them. And you give yourself credit for this courage. A lot of people don't go into this because they're scared. Encourage yourself and your sales team to celebrate the courage. If it takes you an average 100 calls to get close to a sale, then acknowledge that you've faced your fears and you've only got one more call to make when you've made 99. Sometimes all you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and take the next step. After the next call, then you've only got 98 left. You're always closer to that next sale. And just remind yourself that there are benefits of being a salesperson. So whether it's your business and you are the salesperson for the business, or you have sales team as well. If it's your business, you still are the salesperson for your business as well. Look, it's a pretty cool job, the being in sales. Usually your time is your own, and you can make more money. The highest paid employee, this is quite a few years ago. I think there's some CEOs now of different companies and banks in particular that make a lot more money, but the highest paid employee that was listed was a salesperson. And companies, pay you to get results for them, and you often get little bonuses as well. I know I did when I was working in sales, in particular as a rep, and then in a sales manager's role. We got football tickets and tickets to game and tickets to dinners and taking clients out as well. And you don't often get those perks in other roles. So enjoy that role of being a salesperson, and just recognizing that everybody feels that sense of fear of rejection, and you aren't alone in that. But it's just something that you keep going and keep moving forward. The more times you do it, it certainly helps you do the next one. And another little tip too, which I haven't listed here, is changing the framework of your mindset before you get on a call, and thinking about happy thoughts and making yourself in a positive frame of mind, rather than feeling that you are going to be rejected. But keep thinking positive thoughts, and the expectation of the call is going to have a positive result, and that will definitely help you overcome that fear of rejection. Just keep doing it. To learn more about how to overcome fear of rejection in sales, book in for your 20-minute complimentary business call at janeenvosper.com.